They laughed first. Not loudly. Quiet laughs. See, the glances. Labels whispered behind your back. Something's wrong with them. They've changed. They're unstable. You felt it. The pause when you entered the room. The way people stopped explaining things to you. The way they assumed you were no longer a factor. What they never understood was that this wasn't collapse. This was withdrawal. And withdrawal is not weakness. It's preparation. Because when someone stops reacting, they start seeing. Most people only understand noise. If you're not explaining yourself, they panic. If you're not defending yourself, they assume guilt. If you don't react, they assume defeat. They confuse emotional stillness with emotional damage because they've never seen discipline that doesn't announce itself. So when you stopped correcting them, they wrote the story for you, and that was their first mistake. You let them think they had the upper hand. You didn't interrupt. You didn't expose their contradictions. You didn't reveal your awareness. Because when people believe they're winning, they stop hiding. They overshare. They overstep. They reveal motives disguised as jokes. You weren't losing ground. You were letting the terrain expose itself. Your silence wasn't empty. It was activity. You noticed who got comfortable disrespecting you, who tested boundaries, who suddenly felt bold. Silence does something terrifying. It removes feedback. And without feedback, people reveal who they really are. You collected data, not feelings. Patterns. Timing, behavior under pressure. This wasn't avoidance. This was reconnaissance. They called it burnout. Isolation. A breakdown. They thought you were spiraling. But spirals are chaotic. What you were doing was structured. You reduced noise. You cut unnecessary conversations. You pulled energy back to the source. You weren't disappearing. You were compressing power. Here's what most people don't understand. Observation compounds. The longer you watch without reacting, the clearer the system becomes. You started predicting reactions before they happened. You knew who would betray who would lie when cornered, who panicked when control slipped. You weren't guessing anymore. You were ahead. Something changed. Not in you in the room. Your responses got shorter. More accurate. Un'emociona. You stopped arguing, stopped convincing. And suddenly, people felt uneasy. Because calm without explanation is threatening. They couldn't read you anymore. And unreadable is dangerous. Your silence forced honesty out of others. They exposed envy, fear, control issues. You didn't confront it, you let it hang in the air. And that's when they realized you weren't absent, you were aware. You stopped reacting to the present. You started responding to the future. While they argued about today, you positioned for 6 months ahead. While they sought validation, you removed dependency. While they tried to understand you, you stopped needing to be understood. That's when power shifted. They tried to rewrite the story. Suddenly, you were always smart. I knew you had it in you. But it was too late. Because growth that happens quietly doesn't invite revision. You didn't correct them. You let reality speak. You became unpredictable, not chaotic, non-linear, independent. They couldn't provoke you, couldn't rush you, couldn't corner you, because you no longer needed reaction to exist. You had direction. Here's the truth they'll never say out loud. They didn't misjudge you once. They misjudged the version of you that no longer needs permission. You didn't win loudly. You didn't announce revenge. You didn't explain growth. You designed a life that doesn't require applause. And that is the most unsettling outcome of all. Because the loudest revenge is peace without explanation. And the most powerful strategy is a future they can't see. The future they can't reach. They keep watching the old version of you, waiting for a reaction. waiting for proof, waiting for permission to understand what changed. But you're no longer moving on their timeline. You stopped explaining because explanations invite debate, and debate gives people access they didn't earn. You learned something most never do. Not everyone deserves clarity. Some people only deserve distance. You didn't disappear to be mysterious. You disappeared to become precise. Every move now has intention. Every silence has direction. And that's what unsettles them. Because when someone can't predict you, they can't control you. When they realize they're behind at first, they joke about it. Must be luck. Probably temporary. They'll be back. But time keeps moving, and you don't return. That's when the jokes stop. Because nothing is more frightening than realizing someone outgrew you without ever needing your approval. They start comparing, replaying conversations. Searching for the moment they lost leverage. They won't find it. Because the moment wasn't loud. It was quiet, internal, final. Why you nitrogen? Monoxide, longer feel the need to prove anything you used to want recognition, to be seen, to be understood, to be validated. But growth did something unexpected. It removed urgency. You don't rush conversations anymore. You don't chase closure. You don't correct false narratives, because people who misunderstand you are not obstacles. They're indicators. Indicators of who no longer belongs in the next version of your life. The new rule you live by, you no longer ask, do they get me? You ask. You ask, do they respect my silence? Because respect doesn't demand performance. It adjusts behavior. And the ones who don't adjust, they fade. Not because you push them out, but because they can't survive where access is earned, not assumed. The final shift, you didn't become colder. You became clearer. You didn't lose emotion. You learned where to place it. And now, your calm is misinterpreted as distance. Your discipline is mistaken for arrogance. Your independence is seen as threat. Let them think that, because the people who label you are usually the ones who benefited from the old version of you. And that version no longer exists. Thanks for watching my channel. Subscribe for more amazing content.